Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome indeed, yes, to another edition of the Mark Mosey Show podcast, as we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today, 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. It's Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Now, joining us live from Las Vegas, Nevada, because he has an Air Force basketball game to call tonight. He is my great friend, Ryan Kauffman. We got to talk some NFL playoffs as Championship Sunday is coming up this Sunday. My man, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. I'm in what I call the happiest place on earth as far as I'm concerned, Las Vegas. So I'm good. How are you?
I'm not in Las Vegas right now. I know I'm in warmer weather where I'm in Florida and it's still 60 degrees, which is better than anyone else. But you're there. I know you cover the Broncos normally. They win that game, and then the worst case scenario happens while we're watching the Seahawks destroy the Niners. What were your thoughts? We'll start there when they said after the game, oh yeah, your franchise quarterback's out for the rest of the playoffs.
I was stunned because it didn't look like Bo Nix hurt himself. I mean, he threw the pass to Marvin Mims right before they kicked the game-winning field goal, and he looked just fine to me. It shocked me, and I had to kind of rethink, and I'm still kind of going through it. And okay, well, can they do this now? Because I had said all week leading up to the game that if they slay the dragon that is Josh Allen and the Bills, right? The team that everyone said, well, they got a clear path. Well, then they're going to the Super Bowl, regardless of who comes out of the Houston-New England game. And then Bo Nix gets hurt, and it causes you to completely rethink your position on what this Denver Broncos team can do.
What's the feeling right now with the fan base?
It's interesting, and I was talking to somebody about this last night. It is way more optimistic than you would think it is, Mark. Way more optimistic. Like, there's a lot of, we ride with Stiddy, ride in the Stiddy bus, Stiddy for the city. Like, people are like excited in a weird way about Jared Stidham, but we're sitting here, we got a few days. Sean Payton is going to speak. Jared Stidham is going to speak. People are going to start to kind of process this. I'm not going to say it's like the 7 stages of grief, but there's like a shock, and then it's like, oh, we'll be fine. And as the week goes on, I wonder if that enthusiasm starts to dissipate as the reality sets in of the guy who led us to the AFC Championship is not going to play, and a guy that we haven't seen play a real football game in 2 years is going to be stepping onto the biggest stage that we've had as a franchise in 10 years.
Did you like where Nick Foles, he came out? I know you read it on the air.
Yeah.
He went multiple playoff games, won it, got to the Super Bowl, became the MVP. What were your thoughts, Nick Foles? You know, he was in this position.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good that Nick Foles kind of doing that. And that's the authority when it comes to backups coming in. But to your point, he came in earlier than that. Carson Wentz was hurt earlier than that. The only thing I could think of is like New England when they ultimately went with Brady, but then they had to go back to Drew Bledsoe and then went back to Brady in that first Super Bowl. Now, I don't think there's any chance that they can go back to Bo Nix in the Super Bowl, but I think the tweet from Nick Foles helped with the phenomenon I'm talking about, that the fans are like, you know what? Nick Foles knows, and we'll be fine with Jared Stidham. So it was good that Nick Foles reached out. One of the better tweets I've ever seen, to be honest.
Okay. If I'm New England, I'm blitzing the hell out of them. Start to say, I am going to make his life a living hell until he proves he can throw the ball down the field. I'm stacking the box. What would you do if you're New England in this football game?
I would 100%. And look, again, we haven't seen Jared Stidham take snaps in a real football game in 2 years when he filled in for Russell Wilson after all that debacle. The one thing he did do in that game, which Sean Payton hates, took sacks, took 8 sacks in those 2 games. I don't think he's going to put the ball in harm's way. I don't think that the Patriots are going to be able to turn him over like they did CJ Stroud. But if they can get to him, they'll be able to stall out drives, keep the Denver Broncos from moving the football. I would exactly do what you're saying and make Jarrett Stidham. I think the whole premise of this game is the Broncos are trying to not make Jarrett Stidham win them the game, right? Don't game Stidham, but you don't have to win it. The Patriots have to make Jarrett Stidham beat them. And if they can, then I think that the New England Patriots can win this football game.
Look, dude, the whole NFL season overall has been crazy. It's been bonkers. Even in the game you won last week. So what happens? You have this amazing drive at the end of regulation. We score. This is it. Josh Allen gets the ball back. He goes down the field, hits the field goal. You get to overtime. We don't know if that's a catch or if it's an interception. It's called interception. I mean, look, dude, I would not be shocked if this season ends with Stidham starting the Super Bowl. I would not. With the Broncos having a chance to win it.
Right. It would be fitting. But I was thinking about this the other day. Like, we were, not to, rub salt in the wound, but we were like moments away from having the chalkiest playoffs after the most insane regular season. We almost had 1 versus 2 on both sides. And then there's the Bo Nix thing that happens. I think Jarrett Stidham can get them there. Or let me phrase it properly. Sean Payton with Jarrett Stidham can get them to a Super Bowl. They absolutely can. I think you have to say that the Broncos' chances decrease wherever you were before. You have to temper that a little bit. But I think Sean Payton for one game is going to pull out all the stops. And I said on my show yesterday, this will be his magnum opus. If he gets this done and wins the Super Bowl with Jarrett Stidham, it will be better than anything Sean Payton has ever done in his career, taking out the emotion of what happened in New Orleans. I get that. But just X's and O's coaching, I don't know what Sean Payton has done that would be greater than what he is trying to pull off the next maybe 2 games.
Look, just don't be like Houston. Don't turn it over 5 times. Because look, New England's a good team. They are. But it's not like they're wowing you in these football games. But I don't know if anyone's the only team that wows me is Seattle. That's the only one that's just dominating. That's what it looks like.
Well, and it just speaks to what's going on in the regular season, right? We don't have that North Star. We don't have the Chiefs to kind of measure and say, oh, that's excellence. We know what that looks like. The Patriots before them. Now it's just a bunch of teams that I think are incredibly flawed, but all have their own attributes that you really like. And I like Drake May, but to your point, like everyone's talking about CJ Stroud, Patriots turned it over 3 times. So, I think the defenses in this game are going to really tell the story. Because can the Patriots, to your earlier point, get to Jarrett Stidham, and can the Broncos turn over Drake May like they did Josh Allen the other day?
Yeah, Josh Allen. How many turnovers did he have in that football game?
5? That would be 4. That would be 4. You got to put one. You got to put one on James Cook. Got the ball knocked out, but the rest of it was him. The one before halftime was unconscionable. That's a reigning MVP that's carrying the football like that at the end of the half, with everything we know about how important the last few minutes of the first half are, the first few minutes of the second half, and Josh Allen is carrying that ball like a loaf of bread. It's just unbelievable.
I love this scenario because this really happened at the timeline. So if you're a Broncos fan, you win this big game, then you see Josh Allen crying at the podium. You must be like, yay! And then, oh yeah, by the way, your quarterback's out. All the span of like about 20 minutes. Dude, because you know those fans left Mile High. They're going to the parking lot. They're going to the car. We're going to the Super Bowl. We could do this. But I'm with you. Hey, you only got to win a 60-minute football game. And it's not Tom Brady showing up. It's not. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a close game, and I think and I want you to know this. I think the whole country's going for Denver because I don't think the average casual NFL fan wants another 20-year dynasty of the New England Patriots. Do you feel that way?
I think you're right. We talked about this. If we have our finger on the pulse of the nation, I would say definitely last week more people wanted the Broncos to lose than win because of the Bills and Allen, and now that has flipped the other way with who they're playing, but also the Jared Stidham storyline. I think a lot of people, because of the Nick Foles tweet, a lot of people across the country are like, yeah, I want this story again in a Super Bowl, a backup QB trying to win it all.
All right, I want to go over this with you real quick. I know you're a busy man. You got your own show. Thank you for coming on. Anidjar and Levine, Accident Attorney Studios. We're here with Ryan Kauffman. All right. Why did Caleb Williams have to throw that interception? Why did that have? I know DJ Moore.
Yeah. Isn't that what? Yeah. What isn't this? Isn't it DJ Moore? It's not Caleb. Is DJ Moore? He didn't think that Caleb was going to throw it, and he threw it.
He throws them all the time. Why would you not think he's going to come to you? You're the number one featured receiver, dude.
And look, I don't have to tell you all this, and I'll tell you after Caleb Williams threw that touchdown at the end of regulation, I said the Bears have to win this game. How can you not have a play like that and then lose the game? And yet, that's exactly what happened.
All right.
This is wild.
You have, Chiefs Kingdom in your blood. All right. You grew up rooting for that team. We're just going to get it out there. This is my thoughts. And you could shake your head. You could say I'm wrong. It reminds me 2018 Chiefs, where they get to the AFC title game and you're like, well, we're going to be a dynasty. We got the number one offense. And Brady, the veteran with the Patriots, beat him in overtime. And you're probably heartbroken after that game. And then they come back and they win like 4 Super Bowls, whatever you want. And they go on this dynasty run. The Bears are a couple players away on defense. They're going to turn into a dominant They're not dominant yet, and they almost got to the Super Bowl. That's what it feels like to me. When you lost that title game to the Patriots, what was your thoughts going into that offseason?
Once Brady is gone, we got this. That was my thought, is that once Tom Brady is gone, the Chiefs are going to be the team that is going to rule the AFC. But to your point with the Bears, I mean, that team doesn't exist on the NFC side. I don't know if that team exists in the NFL currently. I know everyone's just waiting, the Chiefs are going to bounce back. I don't know that. Yeah. I don't know that. I think they got a lot of flaws. I think they need to completely remake their roster. You don't have that. The window is open for the Chicago Bears. What can't happen, and I don't think it will, is the other reality is they become the Commanders. And I'll say why they won't, because Ben Johnson is far superior than Cliff Kingsbury at crafting on offense. Like, I don't expect the Bears to drop off at all. And look, you have to go through the other part of that Chiefs thing that you mentioned. Like, you got to build up that scar tissue, right? Teams just don't show up out of the clear blue sky and win Super Bowls or any type of championship for that matter. You got to go through it. You got to run. And I know Bears fans have been dealing with it for a long time. I'm saying this iteration of the Bears, they just got here. They got to build up some of that scar tissue. They'll be better off for it next year and moving forward. I think that the Bears are here to stay. I'm a huge fan of Caleb.
He's John Elway 2.0. I don't care. Like, that is my assessment of him.
I see Mahomes. And in Mahomes, I see John Elway. So I think we're talking about the same lineage here of quarterback. When I watched Caleb Williams play CU when he was at USC, and I'm like, I'm watching Patrick Mahomes. I'm watching John Elway. I'm watching a guy with a cannon for an arm that can make throws that other human beings can't. And I'm seeing a guy that is clutch. And I think I know the game ended with that interception, but Caleb Williams, as you know, has made so many clutch plays this year. Like, he is John Elway, he is Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in this league for years to come.
I feel like this conversation is more interesting than trying to preview Seattle versus Los Angeles. I'm sorry to say, I know.
I know. When we, and I'm seeing all over ESPN and stuff, they're got the trilogy, right? And it's like, I know, and I shouldn't be this way, Mark, because the 2 games that they played were awesome.
Yeah,
they were awesome football games. And if we get another one like that, we will be very happy on Sunday. But leading up to the game, it's just it does very little to nothing for me. Like, I can't. The Bears would have been, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on your show. The Bears would have been more. I would have taken the Rams and Bears in the NFC Championship. I think this is a Seattle thing. And with all due respect to Seattle, great city, great fan base, good franchise. It just Darnold, and I can't do it. But if they give us another game like the previous 2, then I'll be content.
Whatever we get, it's going to be fascinating. Like, it's just, look, you might have Denver with Stidham, and then it might be Sam Darnold in Seattle. That's what could happen. All right. And by the way, and I'll let you go, Caleb Williams started a game, I believe, against Fernando Mendoza with California. I think that might have happened. And
were they?
I swear that
in the Pac-12.
Yeah. And then Fernando Mendoza started against Cam Ward last year, where it was California versus Miami. And I remember that game because it was going on until 2:00 in the morning Eastern time in a shootout. That's how stupid this is. Like, all of it.
Yeah. But again, Caleb plays Fernando. Caleb's now 2 years into his career. Fernando's not yet out of college. Those 2 teams were in the Pac-12, a conference that kind of doesn't exist, but it's coming back next year and all that kind of stuff. And then you're talking about them in the ACC. There are things that we talk about in sports that make us feel old. That should be one of them, but it's really not, because it's happened in like the last 2 years. All of that has happened in 2 years.
Okay. Air Force. Okay. Okay. I think I can do this. Is it in the Mountain West? Is that still a conference? Okay.
Yeah. So Air Force, UNLV are going to remain in the Mountain West.
All right.
Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, they're joining up to bring back the Pac-12. And what you essentially have, Mark, is 2 lesser conferences that combined would actually be a pretty good conference. But true to form in college athletics, nobody wants to see control. Everyone wants their own way. And it became a you-know-what match between the Mountain West and the Pac-12, and now we're getting 2 lesser conferences instead of one big, strong West Coast conference.
By the way, maybe you can use this for your show. I know it's coming up here in a second. All right, Indiana winning the title is a great story, but then I start thinking, as a program director, it reminds me of golf, where the Masters happens, where a nobody wins, and it's a great story for 24 hours. Then no one cares moving forward. I always bring up the legs. The story doesn't have legs. So, like, if Tiger wins the Masters, you could talk about it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It continues. But if some, Charles Schwartzel, use that Norm Macdonald joke, Charles Schwartzel wins the Masters, it's great Monday. You can't talk about him Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Nationally, we cannot talk Indiana football now. No one cares. No.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yesterday was the day, and I did.
Yes.
And now there is a blueprint in college football and what it will be done. And I think there's so many parallels between college football and Major League Baseball. What you're going to have happen now, not saying anyone's going to poach Signetti or anything, but you're going to have a team like Oregon, Ohio State, like just throw out and maybe Miami, although I think Miami does some of this, but they're going to take what Indiana did and they're just going to replicate it. It's like what the Dodgers have done in baseball. Like the Rays were this cute story over here, kind of the same kind of vibes. Like nobody really, we want the Rays to win, but then they win and we're like, what do we do with this? So then the Dodgers, a bigger brand in a bigger market, poaches Andrew Friedman and says, do all that stuff here. And then we'll give you a blank check. And now we have the world of Major League Baseball that we have now. And everyone's complaining about the Dodgers. Something like that will happen. A bigger brand, a bigger school will come along and replicate what Indiana did. And then it won't be the fun Moneyball quirky thing anymore. It'll just be, This is how college football works.
Spend money. You can win. That's the key. Okay. So if you're a donor, I don't understand. So I got to pay the school money. Then I got to pay these kids money. How much money do I have to give you? Well, we got to beat Colorado. So I'm sorry. You got to pay us. That's what it is.
It's wild. And I see that. And I talk to people who get hit up for NIL and oh, by the way, we need a new chemistry lab and all this kind of stuff. It never ends.
All right. I have a lot of Miami people. I mean, because I'm not far from Miami. So there's a lot of Hurricanes fans around me. But I feel bad saying this to them, but I will. When Beck throws the interception, I was kind of relieved. I'm happy Indiana won because I don't know if it's going to happen again. And I didn't want them to go 15-1 and then lose it at the end. Let them finish this, okay? Because Miami wins. It'd have been like this, Michael Irvin, the porn star, and enough. All right, enough of you. Let this team win.
And I don't think Miami would even have. I mean, in your neck of the woods, maybe, but I don't know nationally. What do the U is back, and now it's the U and Ohio State and Alabama. I mean, if Carson Beck throws a touchdown instead of a pick there, is Miami this story that we're talking about for weeks? I don't know that they are either.
And then look, and like Indiana, we had to play 16 games to win the title. This is turning into like the 72 Dolphins, where they only played, 14 games?
Yeah, it was like 16, and these teams have got to win like 20.
Yeah.
It was your other. I had this, and I felt this way. Would the playoff have been worse if we would have gone with 4 teams?
All right, so who makes it then? Those top 4 seeds, where it's Texas Tech? Who else is it? Indiana?
Right. So Indiana, Ohio State, Texas Tech. So Miami was the 5, right? So Miami would be left.
They're not.
They're not in. But I'm just saying, like, do we have that many good teams in college football that we need all these games? That's my point. Is that the playoffs are too long?
8 teams would have been fine.
Well, 8's fine.
8 is fine. Please don't expand it even more.
Yeah.
What are we doing after a while? Okay, it's like ridiculous. Again, they beat Bama, Ohio State, Oregon, and Miami. At Indiana, Bloomington. And the great irony in all of it is they're the national champions, and Notre Dame, who's also in their state, are a bunch of punks who didn't even go. Like, it's the great what? Like, so crazy. So
it's wild.
Purdue in 2027. That's what it'll be. Okay. Ryan Kauffman, thanks for your help, buddy, and enjoy your game coming up tonight in Vegas.
Thanks, buddy. Good to see you.